Hey guys, so today I decided to finally film a new updated brow video that I haven't done in a while. I've been meaning to do it and it's been asked before, and I've done one, I think it was probably more than 2 years ago that I did my very first brow tutorial. And some things have changed since then, but it's pretty much very basic for me. I give you a lot of tips throughout the video, so I'm going to go ahead and just show you some of the different brow products that you can find to use. Of course, they're not going to be the colors that match your hair or your skin tone or whatever, because we're different in color-wise as far as what we use for our brows. So let me get this kit before I go into details about other things. Okay, so basically, I show you exactly where you should start your brows, where they should end, and where the arch is. You can pretty much go online, or a lot of beauty books is going to show you the same tips, and it's very easy and simple. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you exactly what you're going to need to do your brows if you're going to follow this tutorial. Now, I use just these scissors here. They're kind of regular small scissors. They do make scissors that are made for your brows. You can buy those if you want. They're a little bit smaller, so you can get into the really fine hairs if you want. But this has worked for me, and I've been doing my brows with cutting them and trimming them with this pair of scissors for years now, and it seems to work. So I'm not gonna go out and buy anything new. You do need some tweezers. I use very cheap, basic ones. Mine are from Revlon. I got them at a drugstore. Really inexpensive. They're probably less than $10. There's no need to spend a fortune on tweezers. For tools, if you're going to use brow powder, then you're going to need obviously an angled brush to apply them, such as this one. This is from Sonia Kashuk. And if you're going to use like pencils or like these new mousses that they have for your brows, you're going to need some sort of brow comb regardless of what method you use to do them. This is also another one from Sonia Kashuk that I've had for probably going on 4 years or so, and it still works just like new. I also use a concealer brush to clean around the edges and to apply concealer underneath my eyebrows so that I can kind of see where all of the hairs are. It kind of helps make those hairs a little bit more apparent. So you just a concealer brush. Mine is just one from Sigma. Okay, so, oh, and one last thing that you're going to need, some concealer. I just use the Benefit Erase Paste. You could use anything, really any concealer would work, just as long as you blend it with your finger. Now, the different types of brow products that you can find are brow powders, brow pencils, tinted brow gels, and obviously these new kind of mousse gel-like type products that come in a little pot like so. That's not a brow mousse, by the way. It's just to show you that they're going to look like a jar like that. So my favorite brow pencil from the drugstore is the Revlon Brow Fantasy, which I show you how to use in the video. This one combines the two easiest methods, the pencil and the brow wax, and mine is brunette. Then also I use another pencil in the video as well, and it's the MAC, it's a new one from MAC, is the Velux Brow Liner in Deep Brunette. And these I just recently got about a month or so ago. It has a spoolie on one end and then the actual pencil on the other, and this one is extremely pigmented, so this one you gotta be very light-handed if you're gonna use this pencil from MAC. Now there's also brow powders. I have one in light brown from Maybelline, and it's the Ultra Brow, and it does come with a little applicator, which I think is really a waste because it doesn't work. I'd rather use a brush. And then you can find kits like this one here. This is one from NYX that has the applicators, the comb, the stencils, and different color brow products. And you get it to match your brows. Mine looks kind of disgusting because I've had it for a very long time. And I got the one for brunettes, obviously, because, you know, my hair is dark. I think the easiest method is a pencil, just because you can make more of the hair-like strokes that looks a little bit more natural than packing on lots and lots of powder, which I've done in the past, and I did just use powder for my brows for quite some time, and until I discovered the Brow Fantasy pencil and the one from MAC. So it's pretty easy the way I do it, and I hope that the tips that I give you throughout the video are going to help with creating your brows. This is going to help, to me, creates the brows that I feel like are perfect for my face. They are a little bit on the thicker side, so if you want them a little bit thinner, you just have to kind of trim them a little bit shorter and kind of pluck more hair. But just be careful that you don't over pluck, because sometimes, you know, if you're not doing it the right way, if you use like, also the magnified mirrors, which is what I was going to say, if you use a magnified mirror to pluck your brows, you may pluck or trim your brows a little too much. So make sure you just use the regular side of a mirror. I use the magnified side to pluck underneath, just because I've been doing this for years and I know what I'm doing. And it's pretty much comfortable. So the tips that I give you are the ones that I've given people when I've done their brows as well. I do recommend that if you want a specific style or shape or arch, that you go to a professional salon and get them done, and then all you have to do is maintain them at that point, which makes it super easy, which is what I've done. A couple years ago, I went and got them waxed, and then I just continued maintaining them, and that's how my brows came to be. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this video and will find it very helpful. And if you'd like to see exactly how to do this, follow the rest of the tutorial. Also, please go ahead and subscribe and rate and comment on the video as well. I really like your feedback, and let me know what other videos you'd like to see. And yeah, subscribe if you are interested in other videos and if you enjoyed this one. So let's get started with the tutorial. Alrighty, so for my eyebrows, what I want to do is put a little bit of brow gel through them, and that'll help keep them in place, so when I'm trimming and plucking, I don't trim something I shouldn't trim. So I'm going to just use some of this Anastasia, that's how you pronounce it, Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel, and you can find this at Ulta. So you just want to kind of lightly comb the top part up. As you can see, I have a few that need to be trimmed. And I comb these ones down. I don't have a pair of eyebrow scissors or whatever you want to call them. I just use my regular scissors, and what I have are just a very small pair. Like sometimes if I have like bangs, I will trim my own bangs with these. They're thinner than just the regular cutting scissors. And what you want to do is, I tend to put the scissor down like so, because I'm trying to go up in this direction with these hairs, so that they kind of start coming up and then they kind of come over this way. So I have a few, you can probably see like that one right there needs to be trimmed. So what I do is I put my scissor down, opened, like so, and then I just trim. And it doesn't take much at all, because I keep my eyebrows pretty much trimmed and plucked. I pluck every day, but I keep them trimmed, and I do this pretty often, so they're not any like major long ones, but just for the sake of the video, when I do this other side, you can also put the open part towards your nose if you wanted to, and cut them. Now, it may be easier to use actual, you know, brow trimming scissors. If you want to get those, you can find them. I've seen them at Ulta, and they've even come like with a little mini tweezer if you want to do that. But this method has worked for me for a very, very long time, so I don't really see a point in buying something that may or may not be needed. I mean, I may try it eventually. So then, after I trim what I'm going to trim, they're pretty much, maybe I have a few here that need to be trimmed. That pretty much can show me, once I trim those, if I have any little baby hairs that need to be trimmed up top. I've taken a little bit of my erase paste from Benefit on my Sigma concealer brush. It's like a 195 style brush. And I just apply a little bit of that right underneath my eyebrow. And what that does, it helps kind of make the really fine little baby hairs that kind of grow a little bit further down than my thicker, like coarser, darker eyebrow hairs that kind of come up in this area. They kind of come in this area here. So this is where I put my concealer. And what that does, when I flip my mirror over to the magnified side, I can actually see those little baby hairs. They stand out a little bit more. So I've already done the concealer on this eye. Now, some people say not to use a magnifying mirror, but I like it because I get to see all of the little hairs that are growing, and not just the really dark ones that are kind of right in this area. I get to see the baby hairs around my eyebrow here in this area as well. So for me, it works. And my mirror is an 8 times magnified, so that's what I use. So For this purpose, I'm going to just use the regular side because if I lean in too much, you won't even see me. So, let me see if I can try doing it that way. Moving the camera like so. Okay, so I have like a few little hairs here, so I just plucked those. I have been using the Revlon tweezers for ages, and it's actually the writing is starting to rub off, but they are Revlon. Maybe I should do it this way so you guys can see. Just pretty basic tweezers, nothing fancy or anything like that. You can spend a fortune on them if you want to, but for me it makes really no difference. So then what I do is I just kind of come in here and I pluck whatever I have that's growing in. So I have a couple in here, and then I just kind of, I do this every day just because I want to keep my brows kind of maintained and groomed. I don't want them, because my hair grows really fast, I don't want them to kind of be like unruly or anything like that. So I also pluck right in this part here because you want your eyebrows, let me just show you really how, I guess, makeup artists will do this for you, or at the salon you could take the end of a brush, couldn't think there, and you want to put it by the side of your nose, like so. And that's where your brows should start, right in there. So mine actually start, well, this is probably too thick. So you want something a little bit thinner so you can actually see. You can even use a pen or whatever you want. So you put it on the side of your nose like so. And that's where your brows should start, like the hair's coming up. Then if you take the pencil and you put it on the side of your nose to the corner of your eye, that's where it should end, like that. And if you want to, you can take a brow pencil and mark yourself where you need to be, but I've already done that part. I just kind of, like I said, maintain them every day, so I don't need to do that extra step. So just hold it right here and here. Then the arch should be kind of, take the, actually I got some mascara on my brush, take it here on the end of your nose, across the center of your eye, the color part of your eye, and that's where your arch should be, right in this point right here. So that kind of gives you a guideline. Like, I'm not going to do it in the video like I said because I've already done it and I just keep maintaining the same shape. So now all I'm going to do is continue plucking all the little hairs. You can see there's one there. Plucking all the little hairs that I have growing in, and then I'll be back to show you the next steps that I do. Okay, so the next step now is once you've plucked and trimmed whatever you want to pluck, you get the shape that you're looking for, the thinness or thickness that you prefer. Another thing that you can do is fill them in, which is what we're going to do next, and then you can go back and kind of pluck underneath or above, whatever, so you can kind of see, get the shape that you want with the pencil, and then go in and trim and pluck where you need. Also, I do recommend that you go and get maybe professionally done your eyebrows at least once every couple months or so, like every 6 months, have them trimmed and shaped to your style preference, and then all you have to do is keep that up, so you don't have to wax them all the time. I wax mine probably once every 3 or 4 months, and I do that myself just because I am used to doing this. I've been doing it for years, and I've done other people's eyebrows because they kind of like the way I fill mine in and they like my shape, so I kind of just work with what I got, and I just over practice and time. Yes, I have taken off too much hair in this part here, waxing before, but you kind of learn from your mistakes as you do it. The more often you do it, you'll get better with it. So I have 2 different types of pencils that I've been using. One is from MAC, and it is the Deep Brunette Velux Brow. I don't know if my camera's going to focus. Velux Brow Liner. It comes with a spoolie and a pencil side. Spoolie, pencil. Or you can use one of my favorites from the drugstore, and it's the Revlon Brow Fantasy with, and it's the brow pencil and brow gel. So you can do pretty much really anything you want. I'm going to open this package here. The only thing that I don't like about the Brow Fantasy is that once the pencil gets to a certain point, the more you use it and sharpen it, it gets to the point where you won't be able to sharpen anymore. And I'll show you what I mean. This one is a brand new one here, and then this is my old one that I have used the heck out of, and it looks pretty disgusting and dingy. I'm sorry, but when you get to the pencil, when it gets to this size, you can't really sharpen it unless you have a really mini sharpener. My Urban K one will not sharpen this anymore. So Sucks, but, you know. And I also wish that the cap was a little bit more sturdy. Mine cracked early on when I first started using it, and now the cap won't stay on. So, using a pencil, you want it to be sharp. If you're using the one from MAC or you decide to get it, this is super, super pigmented, so be careful because all you have to do is just basically touch your skin and it leaves the mark. My eyebrows, as you can see, are black, and I use brunette because if you fill them in, for me, if I were to use a black eyeliner or a black brow pencil, sorry, it would look very unnatural. It would look like I use a Sharpie, and that's not very, let's just say, not cool. So taking your eyebrow pencil, make sure it's sharpened. I like to start by just taking your hand and holding it pointing down. And that's how I like to do, at least for this left side, and for the right side I go upwards. So go put the pencil down where you need to start your eyebrows and kind of draw a line underneath. Like so. And yes, the pencil is not exactly like my color eyebrows. Like I said before, my eyebrows are black. And then I just do light feather strokes from like here, and I move my way towards the center of the brow, or the beginning part, sorry. And then I just kind of short strokes, like so. And if you get on your skin like I just did, because I wasn't paying attention, you can clean it up with a concealer brush with a little bit of concealer on it. So then when I get to this outer part, I turn my face to the side and fill this in here. And like I said, if you get it on your skin, what you can do is clean it up, which I will do later. Then I go back to this part here, and I start doing tiny little feather strokes like this. And then when I get here, I kind of like a squared shape here, so I take the pencil and I just kind of mark it like this. And I don't put a lot of pressure. I try to do as little pressure as possible so that this part is not quite as dark as the rest of my eyebrow. So just tiny little flicks upwards. And that creates little flicks that almost resemble hair. And then once I get the shape that I want, let's just say this is where I want my shape. I take my little brow comb. This is from Sonia Kashuk. I've had this for years. I comb through. Or I can even take a brush, an angle brush. This is actually an eyeliner brush from Sonia Kashuk, the white handle ones. But it actually works because my brows are actually pretty thick. So I take, you can take an angled eyeliner brush or a brow brush and kind of go over. And what this does, it helps kind of smooth out that pencil, just in case you have a little bit of some marks where you can tell you use a pencil. And then I do the same thing, turn my face to the side and kind of comb through or brush through. And I also have other kits that I will show you in the beginning part of the video. I will do that, show you some other things. But that Brow Fantasy pencil, for some reason that brunette color kind of picks up a little bit of reddish tone. So it kind of worked when my hair was red, but my hair is almost black now. So the MAC one is a little bit more, it's darker. So I'm going to just go over it, and as you can see, it starts to fill this in. And you see how pigmented this pencil is? So once I get the shape that I want, I go back in with the brush, and I just kind of blend this out. And this, if you get it on your skin, this wipes off very easily with your finger. But it does stay on quite a bit. So just kind of fill that in and clean up around the edges, wherever you have any mistakes. And this takes like a while for the tutorial because I'm talking, but it only takes me maybe 5 minutes to do my eyebrows because I like to be a perfectionist and make sure that it matches with the other side. As you can see the difference from one eye. If you don't do anything with your eyebrows, which the eyebrows frame the face, and if you don't do them, something is going to be missing. As this eye, it looks more put together, and it just looks very groomed, like you actually took time to care for your appearance. And then what I do after that is I take my brow gel again and kind of comb them up and comb these down. Oh, you can hear my son's crying. So that's pretty much how I fill in my brows. Very easy. It takes me maybe 5 minutes. But as you can see, you can tell the difference. This eye looks more lifted. It looks more, I don't know, it just looks so much better. And of course, when I have my eye makeup on, it all looks like one. It just ties it in with the eyes, the eyeshadow, the eyeliner, and the brows. Obviously right now it kind of looks a little bit like, whoa, in your face because I have nothing on my eyes and no makeup. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, and then I will show you what it looks like with makeup on, and you can see how it really does make such a big difference. So you can see, I know I look kind of crazy, but this is pretty much a really big thing to do. Do not skip your eyebrows. It is very, very important because it does frame your face. It just makes everything look put together. The whole face will come together, and I promise you it will. Trust me on it, and if you follow these tips that I gave you, I hope they work for you, and if you follow them, let me know how it works in the comment section. So what I'm going to do is, before I show you the finished look, I'm going to go in and go above and a little bit below and kind of pluck where I kind of missed some hairs now that I filled them in with a pencil. So I'll do that and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so that's how I do my eyebrows. I hope that that was helpful and gave you some tips that maybe you didn't think of before to help you make this process of doing the brows much easier. So thank you so much for joining me for this look, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.